What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. G here. Sorry for the dark room, but I'm doing a little bit of editing right now, putting some clips together of the OBS. We have some good news. Finally, the motor is up and running. You guys are gonna see right now. You're gonna see the reaction of the owner. Started up himself, and Jose is gonna explain some issues he had along the way. I believe it's the oil pressure. He couldn't get the motor to have oil pressure, and he found out a little trick, and he's gonna show you guys right now the little trick. And enjoy, guys.
I guess we finally got oil pressure. It's about to go down. Ready?
I'll just open it. Close it.
Turn it off? Yeah? Alright. So I want to make sure we're able to turn it off with the key. We have oil pressure now. You ready? Oh, damn. Ready? We have the garage.
Oh, wait.
What? The pedal's gonna fall off? Oh yeah, the fuel pump relay. Fuel pump relay. You need that. So for our neighbor's sake, we closed the garage door, so this should be interesting. Alright guys, so there you guys have it. That was the first startup on Project OBS, and it sounds beastie. Believe me when I say that this iPhone does not do it justice, that this thing sounds super nice in person. But we wanted to do this video to share with you guys that, you know, we finally got the OBS running and sounds nice. But we also wanted to share with you guys a little trick to get oil pressure on your LS motor. Because one of the hiccups that we had with this motor was that we were not getting any oil pressure. So, as you guys know, this motor has, you know, brand new Texas speed heads, brand new Texas speed cam, brand new DOD kit, lifters, melting oil pump. I mean, it has a bunch of good parts, and the last thing we wanted to do was harm it. So, you know, we did our due diligence. We unplugged the little plug on the side of the engine, right in back of the power steering pump, next to the timing chain. There's a little plug, a little oil gully. So basically what you do with that one is you put a 3/8 holes with the funnel and you fill it up with oil, and that basically primes your pump. So when you start it, you know, you start getting oil pressure right away. So we did that. You know, we filled it up with oil, put the plug back in, you know, we unplugged the coils, and we hooked up our oil pressure gauge to the oil pressure sending unit. This guy, right where the oil pressure sending unit goes, we screwed it in there, and you know, we cranked it. We cranked it with the coils unplugged and the fuel pump disconnected, and cranked it, and nope, nothing, no oil pressure. So, you know, the next step after that was we removed all the spark plugs, and that basically allowed the engine to spin more freely, more faster. So we tried that to try to get some oil pressure, and nothing, no oil pressure. So, you know, and it's, you know, after I did a little bit of research, I found out it's a very common thing for, you know, junkyard motors, junkyard LS motors, because they've been sitting for a long time. And then you have to imagine too, you know, people, you know, we got this motor and we don't know how long it sat, and we go ahead and change all the guts off of it, so we drain it of all of its blood, right? So this thing's completely dry, and all of a sudden we're trying to make it pump oil. So I guess it's a very common issue. So there's actually tools for this, and they're called like LS priming tools and stuff like that, where basically you have like little tanks where you fill up with oil and you put pressurized air, and it pushes oil throughout the whole engine, so you basically don't start your engine dry. So those things are like a couple $100. So what we did, and it worked pretty good, we just got basically a little cheap drill pump from Harbor Freight, and yeah, pumped oil into this thing, and we got a reading. So let me show you the pump that we use, so it might help you guys out in the future. So this is what we did. We bought this drill pump at Harbor Freight, and it was this is the Pacific Hydrostar all-purpose drill powered pump, and it was I believe it was $3.99 at Harbor Freight. And then we got these garden hose adapters, which are these. Got these at Home Depot. So got those guys. Then we got some hose, and just cut it in half, put one end here, one in here. Okay, so then this end I put a quart of oil, you know, and I put this holes in the quart of oil, and then on this end I got a M16 fitting. Okay, and I just got a little piece of copper pipe. You could use like a barb fitting like this, but I didn't have the one that fit in that M16 plug, so I just used a little copper pipe that I had laying around. Okay, so then this one went here. Okay, so then this, I'll show you where this goes. Okay, so you see that plug? See if I can do this with one hand. See there? That is the plug that's on the side of the motor, and this is the power steering pump right here. So it's right in back of the power steering pump on the side of the block, next to the timing chain. So you're gonna take this plug off, and you're gonna tap in your M16 fitting. You're gonna screw it in here, like that. You're gonna screw it in there, and then you're gonna put your hose on this end. Okay. All right. So then, basically, it will look something like this, and then you put that on the side of the motor, and you just hit it, and it'll suck the oil up out of the quart of oil into a little pump, pressurize it, and put it into the side of the engine. And you just want to do that for a couple of seconds, you know, as long as it takes to get a reading on your oil pressure gauge. And we just basically, in back of the motor here, there's an oil pressure sending unit. We just took off the oil pressure sending unit and put a gauge. And then once we got a reading on our gauge, then we just got a little cheap Harbor Freight oil pressure gauge, just to measure, like, just to keep an eye on the oil pressure while we fired it up, to ensure that the oil pressure didn't fall off, and we fired it up. That's a cheap little oil priming tool that we did, so worth a shot. If you're having trouble getting oil pressure, it worked for us. It was one of the little hiccups that slowed us down. And to make sure that we had oil pressure, we took off the valve covers, and we looked at the push rods, and you know, oil was coming out of it and everything. So that little pump worked. So if you guys ever run into that little hiccup, be sure to try that out. But yeah, so stay tuned for more. This thing should be it's getting close. So it's getting close. So stay tuned. We should be racing this thing pretty soon. So please like, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more.